Those of you who know me know that my brain likes to soak in information and solve puzzles. And when I finished the 6 episodes that were out for the Amazing Digital Circus, I was blown away by just how much more character development and theories and puzzles to solve there were in this show. So I watched every lore video in existence, I rewatched every episode, I started theorizing and crafting.
Is Jax connected to CNA?
Bee theory.
Does Kinger have the key to avoid abstraction?
Yellow bees.
Are Jax and Ragatha
Is
siblings?
Zooble hiding a
C and A.
B.
Jax
No.
know?
A, B,
Was Kinger
C,
the leader of a militaristic fascist
Holy
civilization
balls.
in a post-apocalyptic
Bubble.
AI world
Bees.
where his country lost the war and him and his royal household were put into the Amazing Digital Circus as punishment for their crimes against humanity? And I realize there's a theory staring us right in the face that I'm surprised nobody's talked about it yet.
B theory?
Oh, not B theory. Sorry, Caine. They're not ready for that one yet. I gotta ease them in. Episode 7 will probably introduce Ribbit as a character we get to know more about. And I think it's very likely that her character will spark controversy in a way that has the creator of the Amazing Digital Circus, Gooseworx, a little worried. Listen to her exact words in this live stream with Jobby too. The voice actor of the disappearing guy. Best guy, by the way. We love that guy.
There were like so many rewrites because it's like we have to get this to work, otherwise it will be like the worst thing ever. I feel like we got it working though. So it's only gonna piss off the right people.
Hell yeah.
The right people. Could Ribbit possibly be bringing more trans visibility to the Amazing Digital Circus? And what hints of this are already out there that everyone seems to have possibly missed? Including hints in the show itself. Let me show you what I'm thinking. I gotta go back in, okay? But first, do I think that this episode will be mainly about Ribbit being trans? Absolutely not. In fact, if I had to guess, it probably won't even be mentioned at all. I think that this episode will probably have some really crazy plot twists that'll leave us feeling really confused. And they'll either have my insane theories sounding way more plausible, or they'll just have me going back to the drawing board. That being said, I do think Ribbit will possibly stir up some controversy. Not because Gooseworx wants more controversy, but because she knows that if Ribbit is more visibly trans than the already accepted non-binary Zooble, that part of the fandom will be upset. In this Twitter post on May 4th, Gooseworx said, "To be totally honest, the real reason I say Digital Circus isn't a kid's show is because I know the second this show crosses some kind of line, a whole bunch of weirdos are gonna come out and say, how could you expose children to these evil ideas and concepts?" And yes, Gooseworx did follow it up by saying the concept of sex itself is offensive to some people. But Zooble already made a sex joke in episode 6, and I think this was only part of what Gooseworx was worried about. So let's talk about Ribbit, the character that very clearly has had an effect on Jax in a way that I'm sure we're bound to find out, probably in episode 7. And in a commercial released by Glitch on November 21st, we may have gotten to hear Ribbit's voice actor.
Pomni. I'm not Pomni. Huh?
Danny, that's not Ribbit's voice, that's Caine's. He shows up in the next scene, it's all just a dream.
Pomni! Oh wait, you're not Pomni. My bad.
I get you think that, but I think this is Zach Hadel. Why Zach Hadel? Gooseworx has implied that Zach Hadel will be a guest actor on the show. But let me play you a clip of Zach Hadel's voice so you can decide for yourself if this voice sounds like Caine's or Zach Hadel's.
I think the Den of Geek is giving us like a good
An aura.
Yeah. I like an energy. I like an energy.
Okay, fine, Danny, maybe you're right. Maybe Zach Hadel is going to voice Ribbit, but what does that have to do with Ribbit being trans? Gooseworx has confirmed that Ribbit uses she, they pronouns. A male voice actor, a character referred to by she, they pronouns, The show never even has to say the word trans for the fandom to recognize that this is likely an undeniable level of trans visibility that will probably make some people really happy and piss off another part of the fandom. But hold on, bear with me for a little bit longer because it's possible that episode 6 gave us an in-story reason to believe this about Ribbit. Remember this scene where Pomni attacks Jax? Listen to what Jax says when he gets upset.
Here we go. Because I didn't fight back, that means I secretly care about you? I'm just a misunderstood little chicken fetus in an egg that needs to be cracked open. Well, I am not.
The way Jax says, oh, here we go, you can pretty much hear his brain wanting to say, oh, here we go, again. Like he's heard this conversation before, like he's annoyed he has to have it again. I really like the way Caboodle summarized this scene in her 3-hour-long over-analysis Jax video.
My Ribbit abstraction theory that this conversation happened before with Ribbit and Jax, that something similar happened where Ribbit got too close and Jax did something similar, yelled at Ribbit, made them feel like shit, made them feel insignificant, unloved, small, something like that. And that caused Ribbit to kill themselves. And I'm guessing that regret could also be coming from that sort of sense of deja vu.
So if Jax possibly had this conversation with Ribbit before, what part of the conversation stuck in his mind that bothered him so much?
I'm just a misunderstood little chicken fetus in an egg that needs to be cracked open. Well, I am not.
If you didn't know, the trans community uses the word egg to talk about someone who shows signs of being trans but doesn't even realize it themselves yet. The word comes from the idea that they haven't cracked out of their shell, like an egg.
Aw, Jaxie boy looks so cute!
Go to hell.
Oh no, she's right though.
But I'm not here to crack the case on whether or not Jax is an egg, just pointing out the fact that he's clearly frustrated that someone has made this argument to him in the past. And given that he clearly has some kind of important relationship with Ribbit, could it have been Ribbit? And while this point I'm sure I convinced at least some of you that Ribbit is likely trans, I'm sure there's still some of you that are wondering why make Ribbit trans at all? Gooseworx, the creator, director, and writer of the Amazing Digital Circus, is a trans woman. Okay, Danny, fine. Maybe Gooseworx is trans, but that doesn't mean Glitch Productions would allow trans ideology into their shows. They're a business after all. They know that would hurt their bottom line. Meet Jasmine Yang, COO of Glitch Productions. Also a trans woman. Now, I think if Glitch Productions had such an issue with trans ideology, they wouldn't have put 2 trans women in such powerful positions. And you know what's amazing? None of this even matters at all. I'm only bringing up any of this to make a point, and that point is that if you didn't know that Gooseworx was trans before this, you still loved the Amazing Digital Circus all the same. And even if you didn't know that Glitch Productions had a trans CEO, you can see how clever their merchandising strategy has been, or how helpful it is to their brand to let YouTube creators take 100% of the monetization. Glitch Productions doesn't take any. Their gender identity and gender expression does not matter. I just got all of this stuff yesterday, by the way, and honestly, the quality of the merch is really nice. This is not an ad. I've just been so impressed with how nice this feels and how quality these plushes are that I just had to say something. So if you're watching this video and worried that Ribbit might be trans and introducing an evil ideology to your favorite show about funny cartoon characters being psychologically tortured by an erratic AI overlord whose only purpose is to create twisted adventures that causes said funny cartoon characters to spiral into a depressive state and ultimately leads them to committing virtual seppuku, then I just ask that you search that part of yourself that realizes that it doesn't matter. And if you love the Amazing Digital Circus, keep loving it. Even if your own personal lifestyle or belief system doesn't match the one of the person who created it. Even if Ribbit turns out to be trans. And hey, whichever one of you out there said that the funniest possible timeline would be Zach Hadel voicing Ribbit, in a few weeks, we may be living in the funniest possible timeline. But hey, that's just a theory. Will you guys just like the video and comment something you think is funny about the Amazing Digital Circus, please? I just wanted to give a huge thank you to my friend Ezzy for helping me get the tone of this video right. This video script was completely different before, and Ezzy was patient enough to be in a 2-hour voice call to help me, someone who's not part of the LGBTQ community, understand how to message this in a way that would help the fandom feel both safe and understood when talking about this topic. As a straight cis male who grew up in a super religious and traditionalist home, I really appreciated the space that Ezzy created to let me ask questions that I was worried were ignorant, but were really important to be able to understand trans-related topics. We did record the entire conversation, so if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments and we may upload the VOD. But for now, go support Ezzy socials.
Thanks for watching to the end of this video. It means a lot to me. And if you want to hear any more about my insane theories, then join my Patreon to get access to the North Pack Discord server. Even free members can get access to the Discord, so I hope to see you there, and if not, then I'll see you in the next one.